Creative visualization, edutainment, and digital learning in the society of connected museums and higher education. These connected museums came into the ICOM word using this topic. So connected museums in the 2010, and when I was the president of avicom from 13 to 19, 6 years, at that time we had to write lots of articles by the ICOM or to the avicom. Avicom published in the ICOM newsletter, and I was my first article about the socially connected museum, universities, social life, communities, social media. So that's why I choose this topic, and I don't read up my text. If you can read, I just summarize the recent knowledge and articles about the last 20 years, because we started this work very early in our university also, at the Calvinist University, and now I am continuing this at the Academy of Film as a kind of retired professor, or not retired, kind of habil professor of the documentary filmmakers and media producers. And that's interesting how 20 years ago the social media, it's about 15-20 years that developed a lot. It's a very big changes and very big effects and a very nice generation change. But yesterday I saw some of the presentations, so the young generation is very big, and we are using this kind of media style in museums, universities, secondary schools, and lots of different edutainment things. That is edutainment because entertaining and education now is very important for the young generation. That's why we are calling that edutainment. I think this is a new expression, or not new, but the interaction and the students' audience is also a kind of different audience, and offered by social media and mobile technologies, lots of new things. Let me quote a young, 100 years ago, he wrote at my native town, Mako, Attila József, a nice poem about the sudden thing. Somebody, he's coming from the future, who knows about the future very well, and suddenly he dropped, and he has a view of the future of the life, and that's a very famous quotation from him, and this is exactly 100 years ago he wrote it. And that's why I quote him, because he was young student at my native town, south part of Hungary, Mako, and he wrote this poem there for his sponsors and first lover's father, Tettamanti Béla. He is a famous Hungarian, and he looked like a general young student at that time in my native town. And we made for the Hungarian Literature Museum a kind of very interactive digital multimedia traveling exhibition for the UNESCO, and also for the Hungarian educational and in the Carpathian Basin for Hungarian speaker people about him. And this is a kind of very hard job to make a kind of poetry of 100-year history to express in a kind of audio-visual way. And we did it, and I tried to show some examples from this new technology, and at that time it was a kind of first new thing, 2005, to work together 8 big screen computer in interactive way, in a synchron way with Bela Bartok music, and also a message of the film is a very interesting thing for this new generation, and it's a kind of Y and Z generation is a kind of challenge for universities to rethink these problems and educational forms. Also the Academy of Film and also our Calvinist University made a very big project about art as a visual communication for teaching purposes. And for teaching purposes, we did a big educational project in 2012 and 2013. And we used the famous Polish film, The Mill and the Cross, which was a kind of big success about two Bruegel paintings of the film was a kind of very interactive and very special level media using in education for religion topics, and also for using drawings, vision, film, media, actors, music together. That was a brand new thing, and different type of studies in the university. Art history, religion study, media study students learned from this material. These are just examples. So the other story, which is a Holocaust story, was a very important question, and now in this year of the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust, this material is still used in education in secondary school and university people with special digestible storytelling, as yesterday somebody told me, storytelling of the person who survived the Holocaust and who was saved by the Hungarian community in the little town of mine, Makó, where the poet Attila József was born. And this historical interactive educational purpose used in different countries, and this is the website and also the interactive place. Every part of this window of the synagogue of Makó is a kind of interactive and active resource, and if you click on some of them, it's just showing films and showing different stories and showing community meetings, and that's a unique material. It's a kind of big example of the Jewish tradition and the living together in Christian and Jewish perspective. Nowadays, unfortunately, this is a very sensitive question, unfortunately because of the wars, but the universities, the students still need to study about the 80 years ago happened things. And with this interactive educational material, we are very usefully help them. And as you see, this film was, this interactive program was used in the Calvin University in America, Michigan, and also Budapest, and also University of California, Santa Cruz. And that was a big, very good students' reaction of that educational material. And also nowadays we are using this material. So the interactive and electronic material, what we are using for this storytelling and personal stories became alive also with the poems, it became of the music, and because of the special judgment of the other cultures and thinking about immigration. It's an extremely valuable and powerful form of educational purposes. I am teaching in universities about 35 years, and I know how we can very powerful and very usefully use this kind of material from the museum. All these material came from the archives of the different museums of Hungary, the Literary Museum, the Ethnographic Museum, the National Museum, the Film Archive. So we use all the sources, but the artificial intelligence not too much using, visual materials we are use that material, and it was very popular for the students. And also it was a famous and successful example because Mr. Faber told me, show some concrete examples in the last 20 years what we did for university teaching. And in 2017, the Károly Gáspár University made a special educational program and conference and book about media inherit culture, how the e-learning parallel published book and the media heritage can useful for education and teaching and knowing the culture of the different generations and different people. Hungarian universities and institutes and museums working very well together to making the multimedia products, the sources, the archive material, the publishing and the objects. So this is a very well fruitful example. This is the website opening image of the conference and the interactive material, and it's very symbolic because you see the old woman. This is a kind of Taipei photography from the Google. It's a free photography, but I thought it's a very, very expensive, very nice thing with the basket, the lady, and the traditional material, but the grandson with the tablet, they are together and communicating. And that's what we showed in this interactive educational material. So this visual image expressed very well the topic, what we did it with a big crew. We worked together about 16 scientists and media person in this project. And this is still on the website of the university, and the students using that. And that is also a Hungarian composer, Béla Bartók and Zoltán Kodály birthdays. That was the 126th anniversary of Zoltán Kodály. And we made a kind of big media project with the National Film Archive, the National Museum, the Ethnographic Museum, and the Academy of Music collections. And the composer composed a 1-hour concert for the stage with a live orchestra, and we produced a live video, a kind of background projection in the concert hall of Budapest, and this is also a kind of interactive multimedia format exists on the internet. So this is another example how we can educate and how we work together about the past, the vision, the visual archive. And just for the big ending of this presentation, after I've shown a short film, 1 minute, how the cultural products consumers are looking for an enjoyable, high quality and fulfilled entertainment. That is a very strong working together about Jonathan Edwards, Christian priest in America, and there is a very famous and very great friend of us, Robert Boss, in 2019 make a special visualized educational program about his religious Jonathan Edwards works. That's very interesting topic for the Calvinist University and also for education. And also this visualization was in a kind of animation, interactive formats and the visualization of the messages of the Jonathan Edwards poems and writings. And it was also an international communication with the Hungarian University and an American university. And Jonathan Edwards, like a very famous topic and digital humanity topic to teach the students. And also just some images of the website of Robert L. Boss, PhD, about how he tried to visualize the 300 or 400 years old working Jonathan Edwards with some visualized video and projects and images, and how he can express this message of the religious writer. And these visual materials of the Edwards project, it's an interactive video series built upon the book Bright Shadows of Divine Things and Devotional World of Jonathan Edwards. This is the topic of the book and the title of the book. And the scientific knowledge are now in a public eye, so everybody can see on the website, and there are lots of viewers negotiating with the treasure of the truly and really ethical questions of the new media for this topic, and hidden areas and hidden cultural scientific heritages can also shining in this way for the younger generation in universities and education, and breaking up and open up minds. And I want to just Finnish poem, like a kind of visuality was in the beginning from Attila József and also from Gyula Juhász. He's also a kind of native poem of my native town. And he is also speak about the suddenly, like the digital world opened up a special world when the clouds appearing on the sky and also the rosy skies and the sunshine, the sunset is going down, but also with a hopeful of the new knowledge, new vision, and new days, a new type of so-called for us media for the future generations in the museum. Thank you very much for the old-fashioned style multimedia.